We have some leaks related to Pixel Watch 4 specs, and there's really good news. And some slightly disappointing news too, because this is 2025 and nothing can ever be truly good.
It's funny because it's true.
We also have a bizarre story about a man possibly facing jail time for reviewing emulation handhelds, which could set a very concerning precedent. And we also saw a new foldable phone that proves Samsung could have made the Galaxy Z Fold 7 even better than it already is, but just, didn't. I'm C. Scott Brown, and it is time for a quick roundup of the biggest tech news that you need to know about. Our first story today focuses on the Google Pixel Watch 4. This week, Android Authority exclusively leaked some hardware information about the upcoming smartwatch. The good news is that we are expecting some battery capacity increases for the two watches in the lineup. And who doesn't love more battery life? As with the Pixel Watch 3 lineup, we're expecting two different sizes for the Pixel Watch 4. The standard 41mm model, which is the same size as the first Pixel Watch, and the slightly larger 45mm size, which I have on my wrist right here. Bigger is better. Just like last year, the two watches will have different sized batteries, but the batteries will be considerably larger this year, which is very exciting. To be specific, the 41mm model should have a 327 mAh battery, which is about 7% larger than the previous model. The 45mm version should up the ante by going to 459 mAh, which is a 9% increase. For the sake of comparison, the smaller version of the just launched Galaxy Watch 8 is about the same size as the smaller Pixel Watch 4, and it has a 325 mAh battery. So you can think of the small Pixel Watch 4 having about the same battery as the Galaxy Watch 8. Which is good news. Likewise, the larger Pixel Watch 4 is about the same size as the just launched Galaxy Watch 8 Classic, but has a larger battery. Although there will obviously be differences between the two watch lines because of software and hardware stuff, it's likely that battery life will be similar across both lines. The important takeaway here for people who already own any model of Pixel Watch is that the Pixel Watch 4 lineup will almost certainly have better battery life than anything we've seen yet from Google. This is exciting because better battery life on smartwatches should be the most important thing manufacturers keep in mind. Seriously, this technology should last you at least a weekend without needing to charge. If it doesn't, what's even the point of having one? Okay, so I told you there was some slightly disappointing news here too, and I'm going to get into that now. If you're exhausted by the state of the world and just want to leave on a high note without hearing the disappointing news, feel free to scrub forward to the next story. I'll give you a second. Okay, everyone here ready for the disappointing news? The news is that the Pixel Watch 4 is likely going to have the same processor as the Pixel Watch 3, which in turn was the same processor that we saw in the Pixel Watch 2. That should mean 0 performance upgrades this year.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me!
So this is sad, for sure, but it's not as big of a deal as it might seem. The entire Galaxy Watch 8 series uses the same processor as the previous generation, for example. With smartwatches, there isn't really a necessity for performance increases year over year. It's not like you're playing The Witcher 3 on these things, right? Oh, well, okay, I guess that's a thing for some reason. Anyway, these specs leaks don't paint the whole picture of the Pixel Watch 4. For example, the watches could have new health tracking sensors that make them better than last year, or could have amazing new software features. And even if they don't, bigger batteries are worthwhile upgrades, especially for people who have older smartwatches at the moment. The Pixel Watch 4 series will launch on August 20th along with the Pixel 10 series. We should also see some new earbuds there, so mark your calendars. Our second story today is a bit of a weird one. It centers on an Italian YouTuber named Once Were Nerd, whose channel focuses on retro console emulation. Apparently, the channel's owner has found himself in hot water with Italian law enforcement with the possibility of jail time hanging over his head. The reason? Owning a lot of emulation handhelds, apparently. So this is a complicated issue. From a legal perspective, it is totally okay to create, sell, and buy hardware that is specifically designed for emulation. Even emulators themselves have consistently been accepted as legal in most countries, including here in the United States. The legal gray area surrounds ROMs, the actual games you load into an emulator to play it. Because of this, most retro gaming handhelds you buy will come empty, meaning there's no emulators, no ROMs, no nothing. It's up to the buyer to do what they want with them, which, of course, could involve illegally playing pirated copies of games. But once the company has sold you the hardware, what you do with it is your business. One company, though, plays fast and loose with this. That company is called Anbernic. This company has a history of including SD cards with its handhelds that include thousands of ROMs and emulators to play them. Granted, most buyers don't use these because they're typically outdated and poor quality rips. Regardless, it is clearly illegal to do this, but Anbernic skirts past this by being a Chinese company. So sending a legal team after them will probably be a waste of time. Earlier this year though, Anbernic took things a step further by starting to include a literal piracy store on its handhelds. The software, called Rixel HK, gives you a list of thousands and thousands of games that you can download for free with the press of a button. So, this Italian YouTuber has a lot of these handhelds for reviewing on his channel. Now, he has come forward to say that Italian authorities raided his home back in April and confiscated over 30 consoles and even his personal smartphone.
SWAT came into my house, disrespected my whole family because somebody knocked me out.
He received a penal notice, so he could, in the worst case scenario, be put in jail for this. Yes, jail time for owning a retro gaming handheld. Look, piracy is clearly illegal, but what effect does messing up this guy's life have on combating piracy? This guy just makes videos to help people know what products to buy and what products to skip, similarly to what we do here at Android Authority. This smartphone can emulate dozens of consoles from over 50 years of gaming. Should I be arrested for telling you about that? I don't think so. Although, now I am a little worried about that. Our last story today is all about a brand new foldable phone. No, it is not the Galaxy Z Fold 7 that came out last week, although if you want to hear about that one, check out this video up here. This week we saw the launch of the vivo X Fold 5. Like the Galaxy Z Fold 7, it's a very thin book-style foldable, but it has a few upgrades that even the Galaxy Z Fold 7 doesn't have. First, and probably most significantly, the vivo X Fold 5 has a 6,000 mAh battery. This puts the 4,400 mAh battery in Samsung's newest foldable to shame. It also charges way faster, at a whopping 80 watts with a cable and 40 watts wirelessly. This makes the measly 25 watt wired charging of the Galaxy Z Fold 7 seem like Stone Age tech. The upgrades don't stop there. The vivo X Fold 5 also has 3 IP ratings, IP5X, IPX8, and IPX9. This means the foldable can withstand dust, water immersion, and high pressure jets of water. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 has an IP48 rating, so it can withstand water, but not dust. The crazy thing is that Vivo was able to bring these upgrades to the X Fold 5 while keeping it almost as thin as the Galaxy Z Fold 7. Granted, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is definitely thinner, but we're talking about tenths of a millimeter in difference. In other words, this phone existing proves that there's no reason Samsung couldn't have brought a bigger battery, faster charging, and better durability ratings to the Galaxy Z Fold 7. It just decided not to bother, which is unfortunate. Of course, the vivo X Fold 5 is not perfect. It's running last year's premium Snapdragon processor, the 8 Gen 3. Its camera is not as good as what we see on the Galaxy Fold 7, and the software experience is almost certainly going to be better on the Samsung foldable. There's also the availability problem. The vivo X Fold 5 is not coming to the US. In fact, it's not even coming to Europe, with Vivo deciding to keep it mostly in Asian markets. Regardless, Vivo and other Chinese manufacturers like Honor are proving that Samsung could make its foldables much better. For reasons no one but Samsung understands though, the company just isn't doing that. Respectfully to Samsung though, the Galaxy Fold 7 is still a beast. It's beautiful, thin, powerful, and offers a really enticing package of features. For $2,000 though, it should be the best phone ever made, and it just isn't. Hopefully, next year, we'll see Samsung finally close the gap on its foldable competition. That's it for this roundup. If you want to dive deeper into any of these stories, be sure to check all the links down below. Remember to like and subscribe so you'll be notified as soon as the next roundup goes live. See you all soon.